favorite Hollywood celebrities grow older, we're seeing more of our favorites pass away. While this is a sad affair in itself, it's somehow even more so when it's a child actor that we've watched grow. Here are 10 child stars who are no longer with us. Gary Coleman. Best known as the wisecracking Arnold Jackson on the hit TV series Diff'rent Strokes, Gary Coleman was a household name in the 1980s. His catchphrase, "What you talking about, Willis?" would become his legacy even after leaving the show. Despite his success, Coleman suffered with financial issues. Chronic health problems that left him permanently stunted at 4 foot 8 inches, and the mishandling of his earnings by his parents and agent left him desperate. He successfully sued his parents as he got older, but never quite recovered from the losses. In May 2010, the 42-year-old actor suffered a fall in his home and passed away from a brain hemorrhage when transferred to hospital. Dana Plato. Appearing on the hit TV series Diff'rent Strokes as Kimberly Drummond alongside Gary Coleman, Dana Plato was a familiar face in American living rooms from 1978 to 1986. Privately, she struggled with drug and alcohol addictions from the time she was 14 years old due to the stress acting put on her. She was removed from the series in 1984 when it was discovered that she was pregnant, but made appearances in later seasons regardless. Following her success in Diff'rent Strokes, Plato's life took a terrifying downward spiral as her husband filed for divorce and took custody of their son in the early 90s. At the same time, her mother passed away and her accountant stole most of her earnings. In May 1999, 34-year-old Plato was found dead of a drug overdose, which medical examiners ruled as a suicide. Corey Haim. Making his first widespread debut in the 1984 film Firstborn, 10-year-old Canadian actor Corey Haim admitted he hadn't been completely prepared for the acting lifestyle. He began to rise through the ranks of young Hollywood and land more roles. The pressures of life and the limelight began to wear on him, however. He experimented with hard drugs from a young age and became addicted. In March 2010, he was found unresponsive in the apartment he shared with his mother and was proclaimed dead at the age of 38 due to pulmonary congestion. Many believe that the trauma he suffered in life, he was sexually abused as a child while working in the film industry, caused him to turn to drugs, which indirectly contributed to his death. Josh Ryan Evans. Josh Evans was an American actor famous for his role in the soap opera Passions during the 1990s. Though he was 17 years old at the time he played the role of Timmy, a doll shaped like a small boy. He suffered from a type of dwarfism called achondroplasia, so he was only 3 foot 2 inches tall and had a boyish face for his age. He appeared in various commercials from the time he was 12, then moved on to larger parts in Baby Geniuses and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. In August 2002, he was undergoing surgery for a congenital heart condition when he passed away during the procedure at the age of 20. J. Madison Wright Morris. Jessica Madison Wright Morris, more commonly known as Madison Wright, was an American actress in the 1990s. She began acting when she was 9 years old and was made famous by her portrayal of Sam Wallace in the film Shiloh. In 1999, she decided to leave her acting career behind her and moved home to her family in Kentucky. When she was 15 years old, she required a heart transplant after developing restrictive cardiomyopathy. The surgery was a success, and she went on to obtain her teaching credentials and married Brent Joseph Morris in the summer of 2006. Sadly, she suffered a heart attack while the two celebrated their honeymoon in Hawaii and passed away at the age of 21. Michelle Thomas. From a young age, Michelle Thomas was talented and even won the Miss Talented Teen New Jersey in 1984. Her acting career took off in 1988 when she portrayed Justine Phillips on The Cosby Show. She also appeared in several other TV series and music videos during the late 1980s and late 90s. In August 1997, Thomas was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer and subsequently underwent surgery to remove a tumor from her abdomen. The following October, one of the cancerous growths ruptured and she went through a second surgery. However, the cancer was too aggressive and she died in December 1998, surrounded by friends and family. Matthew Garber. As the child of two stage actors, Matthew Garber had a bit of a leg up when it came to casting. When he was 7 years old, he made his screen debut with Karen Dautrice in Disney's The 3 Lives of Thomasina. That same year, he was cast as Michael Banks for the upcoming film Mary Poppins. He and co-star Dautrice, who played his sister Jane in Mary Poppins, appeared together in yet another film before going their separate ways. In 1976, it was discovered that Garber had contracted hepatitis while in India that affected his pancreas before he could return to London. During the summer of 1977, Garber passed away of hemorrhagic necrotizing pancreatitis at the age of 21. Judith Barsi. During the mid-80s, Judith Barsi was an American child actress that provided the voices of Ducky in The Land Before Time and Anne-Marie in All Dogs Go to Heaven. She also appeared in commercials and TV shows. While her mother encouraged her career, her father became angry and started drinking heavily. He would threaten to kill Judith and her mother regularly. Judith's mother began to consider leaving her husband when things began to escalate and he began abusing them. In 1988, her father went through with his threat and shot Judith in the head while she slept before murdering her mother. He stayed in the house for 2 days before dousing the bodies of his wife and child in gasoline, setting them on fire, and then going out to the garage and shooting himself. Brittany Murphy. Born in Atlanta, Georgia, Brittany Murphy was raised by her mother in Edison, New Jersey from the time she was a toddler. When she began to show an interest in an acting career after taking singing and dancing lessons since she was 4, her mother sold everything and moved them to Los Angeles in 1991. Her rise to fame came after her second movie, Clueless, was released in 1995. In the early 2000s, Murphy dropped a large amount of weight and rumors of a cocaine addiction began to surface. She denied the claims, saying she'd never even tried it. In December 2009, Murphy collapsed in her Los Angeles home and was rushed to the hospital. She died in hospital, and her cause of death was ruled as pneumonia with secondary factors of severe anemia and drug overdose. All the drugs found in her system were legal prescriptions or over-the-counter medications likely used to combat her condition. River Phoenix. Made famous by his role in Stand By Me, River Phoenix went on to be a teen idol to young Americans. Due to financial struggles, Phoenix, his brother, and 2 sisters would sing for money on street corners where they were discovered by Iris Burton, a children's agent in Los Angeles. He supported animal rights, was a lifelong vegan, and an environmentalist with a passion for music. On the night of October 30th, 1993, Phoenix was outside the Viper Room, a Hollywood nightclub partially owned by Johnny Depp, with one of his sisters, his brother, and his girlfriend when he began to seize. He was later pronounced dead from a drug overdose during the early morning hours of October 31st. He hadn't been known to do drugs, so many were surprised, and his death was widely publicized.